we're living through this massive technological shift, right? It's huge. But what if the single biggest opportunity, the real gold mine, is something most of the world is just completely missing? Let's dig into that.
Okay, so to really get where we're headed, we've got to look back for a second. The whole history of industry is basically a series of, well, revolutions. Each one just completely changing everything. And if you look closely, you'll see something wild. The gap between these big shifts, it's getting shorter and shorter. The speed of change is just off the charts.
So let's break this down. You can pretty much boil it down to 4 big stages, and each one kicked off because of one single game-changing piece of tech.
You know what's so cool about this? It's how things get more complex at each step. We kick things off with steam power way back in 1784. Fast forward about a century and boom, electricity, assembly lines. Then, 1969, we get computers and automation, another total game changer. And now? Well, now we're in what's called the 4th Industrial Revolution. And it's all about these things called cyber-physical systems. Sounds super technical, I know, but trust me, you're already living in it.
Yeah, cyber-physical systems sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? But I promise you, it's not. It's something you literally use every single day. See, this revolution, it's not happening in some far-off factory. It's happening right in your pocket.
So what the heck are they? Look, to put it simply, it's where the digital world, data, code, the internet, smashes into the physical world of actual stuff. It's like giving a digital brain to a physical object. So now that thing can sense what's around it, think about it, and then do something in the real world.
Okay, so with that idea of a digital brain in mind, what do you think is the most common, most used cyber-physical system on the entire planet right now?
Yep, it's your smartphone. I mean, think about it. This one little device has basically eaten, what, dozens of other physical things? Your camera? Gone. Your road maps? Yep. Your computer, your books, your alarm clock, even your flashlight. They're all just apps now, inside this one connected cyber-physical hub. It's the perfect example.
And the scale here, it's mind-boggling. This isn't some niche gadget for a few people. We're talking over 1.3 billion sold in just 1 year. The smartphone has become a universal tool. It's put the power of this whole revolution into the hands of pretty much everyone, everywhere on Earth.
So this tech didn't just give us cool new gadgets. Nope. It created a totally new way of doing business. It completely rewrote the rules of the game. This is what we call the platform economy.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Uber, biggest taxi company in the world, owns 0 cars. Airbnb, the biggest hotel-style company, owns no property. Facebook, a huge media company, creates none of its own content. Their value isn't in owning stuff. It's in the platform, that digital space that connects millions of us. That is a completely new and unbelievably scalable way to build a business.
And don't think this is just a thing for, rich countries. It's not. The exact same idea that turned the taxi business upside down in New York is now changing how people catch an auto rickshaw in Pakistan. This is a global thing. It's happening everywhere.
But here's the crazy part. For all its power, for all this disruption, this entire revolution has pretty much ignored the single biggest economic opportunity on the entire planet.
And no, it's not some new technology or some undiscovered country. It's a massive group of people. So what is it? What's the biggest untapped market in the world?
The answer is right here, in this pyramid. Usually, when we think about markets, we focus on the people at the top, or maybe in the middle. But just look at the bottom. Look at the base. That huge, wide section, that's what economists call the bottom of the pyramid, or BOP for short.
And how many people are we talking about here? We're talking about 4 billion people. Let that sink in. That is more than half of everyone on Earth.
Now, these are folks living on less than about $2.50 a day. And for decades, honestly, the world has looked at this group as a problem, something to be fixed with charity and aid. They've been left out of the global economy. And that's been a massive, massive mistake.
Why? Because that whole viewpoint is just wrong. If you look at them collectively, together, the bottom of the pyramid is a market with $5 trillion in purchasing power. $5 trillion. This is not a charity case. This is, hands down, the biggest untapped opportunity for growth on the planet.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, if the tech is here and this massive market is just sitting there, why hasn't anyone cracked it yet? Well, it's because you need more than just new tools. You need a totally new mindset.
We have to make a shift from what you could call managerial thinking to entrepreneurial thinking. Let me show you what I mean.
All right, so managerial thinking. That's the classic business school playbook. You start with a clear goal, like I want to sell more widgets. And then you go find the money and people to make it happen. That works great when things are predictable. But the BOP? It's the opposite of predictable. So that's where entrepreneurial thinking comes in. It completely flips the script. You don't start with a goal. You start with what you've got right now. Your skills, who you know, that smartphone in your pocket. And from there, you imagine all the different new things you could create. It's a mindset that's perfect for when you have no idea what's coming next.
And this quote just nails it. You can't sit in an office and make a 5-year plan for a market like the bottom of the pyramid. It just doesn't work. You have to get your hands dirty. You have to act. You have to try things. You have to experiment. And you figure out the path as you walk it. You're not predicting the future. You're building it.
And this, right here, is where it all clicks into place. You've heard of the UN's Sustainable Development Goals, right? That big list of the world's toughest problems, poverty, hunger, you name it. Well, what if we stopped looking at them as just social goals? What if we started seeing them as a list of incredible market opportunities? What if the best way to solve these huge problems is by creating profitable, sustainable businesses that are designed to serve these exact communities?
So I'll leave you with this final thought. We've got the tools, right? The insane power of the fourth industrial revolution. We've got the opportunity, that $5 trillion market that's just waiting. And we've even got the roadmap in those global goals. So the real question isn't if we can solve the world's biggest challenges anymore. The real question is, how are we going to use this incredible moment in history to connect the dots and build a world that's better and more sustainable for absolutely everyone?